The phone rings at 2 in the morning. It's a hospital. Your mom has had a stroke. You jump in the car, drive straight there, and when you try to talk to the bank about her mortgage payment due tomorrow, they shut you down. You can't touch her money. You can't pay her bills. You're completely locked out. Why? Because you don't have the magic piece of paper that hands you the legal keys to her life. That magic piece of paper is called a power of attorney. A power of attorney is a legal document that lets you pick someone you trust to handle your stuff if you can't do it yourself. It's the ultimate master key. But there's a massive trap waiting for you at the office supply store or the local notary. There isn't just one single document. There are two completely different versions, and picking the wrong one will leave your family stranded right when they need help the most. Today, we're putting these two heavyweights head to head. We're comparing a springing power of attorney against an immediate power of attorney. An immediate power of attorney is a document that gives your chosen person the legal power to act for you the exact second you sign it. A springing power of attorney is a document that only gives them that power if a specific trigger happens, like a doctor declaring you're totally incapacitated, which is a legal word for being completely unable to make your own choices or understand what is going on. Think of it like an automatic transmission versus a manual transmission in a truck. One kicks in only when certain conditions are met. The other gives you full power the second you turn the key. Deciding which one to rely on is one of the most critical choices you can make for your family. You need to know exactly how each one operates before you ever put your signature on the line. Let's look at the first heavyweight, the springing power of attorney. This is the one most people instinctively want. It feels safe. The logic is simple. You don't want to hand over the keys to your bank account to your son or daughter while you're still completely fine. You only want them stepping in if a real disaster strikes. So, you set up a document that springs into action only when you're badly hurt or too sick to function. It sounds incredibly smart on paper. But here's the exact scenario where that safety net completely fails you. Your mom had that stroke at 2 in the morning. She is alive, but she can't speak or sign her name. You've her springing power of attorney in your hand. You run down to her local bank branch to pay her property taxes so the county doesn't put a lien on her house. You slide the document across the counter to the teller. The teller slides it right back. The teller tells you they can't accept it. Why? Because the document says it only works if your mom is incapacitated. The bank teller looks at you and asks for proof. They need you to prove she is actually incapacitated right now. You can't just say she had a stroke. You can't show them a text message from your brother. The bank wants hard legal proof before they let anyone touch a single penny of your mom's money. This is called the proof of incapacity trap. Proof of incapacity means you've to get a licensed medical professional to sign a specific, formal legal affidavit. An affidavit is a written statement confirmed by an oath, usually signed in front of a notary public, stating that the person has lost their mental or physical abilities. It bypasses the medical bureaucracy completely. The springing power of attorney completely fails here because it forces you to stop putting out fires and start chasing down doctors just to prove what the hospital already knows. You lose precious time, and in a financial emergency, lost time means lost money. Dimension number 2 is protection against financial abuse. Let's say you're signing one of these documents for yourself. You want to plan ahead, but you're worried about giving someone total control over your life savings. In this dimension, the springing power of attorney wins, at least in theory. It keeps your agent's hands entirely off your money while you're still capable of managing your own affairs. The immediate power of attorney offers zero built-in protection. If your agent turns out to be a thief, an immediate power of attorney gives them the tools to rob you blind while you're completely healthy and totally unaware. Dimension number 3 is how banks and institutions actually treat the paperwork. This is where the real world collides with legal theory. Banks notoriously hate springing powers of attorney. They hate them because they don't want the legal liability. Liability means the legal responsibility or blame for something, especially if something goes wrong and someone gets sued. If a bank teller accepts a springing power of attorney without demanding perfect, flawless medical proof, and it turns out the person was actually fine, the bank gets sued for letting the agent steal the money. Because banks are terrified of this exact liability, they'll fight you tooth and nail. They'll demand updated medical records. They'll send the document to their own corporate legal department for review. That review process can take weeks. On the flip side, banks generally accept immediate powers of attorney much faster. The document is effective immediately, so the bank's risk drops significantly. They just verify the signatures, check their internal rules, and process the transaction. The immediate power of attorney wins this dimension because it's less of a headache for the people holding the money. So, where does this leave you? You've one option that keeps your money safe while you're healthy, but traps your family in bureaucratic hell when you aren't. You've another option that gives your family instant access to save the day during a crisis, but leaves you completely exposed to a bad actor while you're fine. The truth is, neither option is absolutely perfect. You've to weigh the odds based on your own family dynamics. If you've a child or a spouse who is rock solid, someone who has never had a problem with debt or addiction, the immediate power of attorney is usually the safer bet for an emergency. The risk of them stealing from you is extremely low, and the benefit of them having instant access during a medical disaster is massive. You trust them completely, and you get the master key without the roadblocks. If your family situation is messy, or you just have a nagging feeling about someone's financial stability, a springing power of attorney might feel like the only way to go, but you've to go into it with your eyes wide open. You've to know that when the time comes, your family will face a mountain of paperwork and a very frustrated fight with the banks before they can ever touch a dime of your money to help you out. You also need to know that these laws change depending on where you live. Every single state has its own specific rules about how a power of attorney must be written, what language it must include, and exactly how a doctor must prove incapacity. Some states have adopted laws that make springing documents slightly easier to use, while other states still treat them with massive suspicion. Because the rules vary so wildly, you can never just download a random form from the internet, fill in the blanks, and hope for the best. That's a gamble you'll eventually lose. This is strictly education so you understand the actual rules of the game, not specific legal advice for your exact situation. When you're dealing with your entire life savings and your family's future security, you absolutely must talk to a local lawyer. A local attorney will know exactly what your specific state requires, they'll know exactly what your specific local banks demand, and they can draft a document that actually works when the pressure is on. They can also help you add extra layers of protection, like requiring 2 different agents to sign off on large money transfers, which can give you the best of both worlds. You work too hard for your money to let it get tied up in legal knots when a real emergency strikes. Knowing the difference between these 2 documents is the first step in making sure your family is protected no matter what happens tomorrow. If you had to pick one single person in your life right now to give total control over your bank account, who would it be and why? Let me know your answer down in the comments. If this breakdown helped you finally understand the massive difference between these 2 critical legal documents, please pass this video along to a family member who might need to get their paperwork in order before an unexpected crisis hits. And make sure you subscribe to Scribble Law so you always know the actual rules of the game before life tries to blindside your wallet.